happy Thursday evening. I hope you had a wonderful holiday weekend. It was absolutely beautiful. And it's a beautiful day today, and of course you can feel that change of seasons in the air. While the sun is still warm, you get that cool breeze and you know what's coming next. But I would love to try to enjoy the next few weeks that are still probably going to be beautiful. And certainly the best thing about change of season is the colors of fall. And so today's project is inspired by the change of seasons. And I love this time. I love it when you see these beautiful subtle changes and then they become more and more vibrant. And I know you guys love it too. So anyway, that is the inspiration for today's project. And it is the Lariat that I called Fall Blooms.
September blooms.
I'm sorry.
It is fall.
September
is in fall.
But yes, actually yes. Thank you, Tony. So I called it September blooms because literally it's the colors of September. It's when the sun is still warm and we have all these gorgeous flowers, and especially the dahlias. I love the dahlias this time of the year, and I know you guys do as well. So to me, this color palette is really, really warm, and it just has a lot of sunshine in it. At least that's how I view it. And it has a lot of different textures.
Karen says, hello, Irina, Tony, Lauren, and Lauren.
Hi, Karen.
Pammy J says, hello, Irina, Tony, Lauren, and all.
Hello, Pammy J.
Patty T says, hello, everyone.
Hi, Patty.
And Angela says, good evening.
Hello, Angela.
Fonda says, good evening, everyone. Happy Friday Eve.
Hi, Fonda, and happy Friday Eve to you as well.
Julie says hello, and Teresa says joining in.
Hello, Julie and Teresa.
Jane says, hi, Irina, Tony, Lauren, and everyone. I've been looking forward to this project.
Hi, Jane. Yay, thank you so much. So I know that some of you are very familiar with lariats and the concept of a lariat just being kind of this organic piece that just hangs from your neck in a very casual way. But for those of you who are not familiar with this type of an open-ended lariat, I will explain this particular lariat and how it was designed.
Lindsay says, hi there, Irina, Tony, Lauren, and everyone.
Hi, Lynn.
Julie says, this necklace is really beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much, Julie.
Mary Elizabeth says, hello, all. I love this design. I've been waiting patiently all week.
Oh, thank you so much, Mary Elizabeth. I am so flattered that you've been waiting for this.
Heidi says this is gorgeous, and she couldn't wait either.
Oh, yay. Thanks, Heidi. All right, ladies. So I just wanted to share a little bit about the strategy of wearing a piece like this. And of course, how you're going to wear a piece like this is really going to influence how you make it as you are creating it. So before you start working on it, I want you to kind of notice that there are a couple of spaces that have no beads on them, no embellishment. And those spaces are very important. So not only do I feel that sometimes it's really great to have a little negative space just visually, because it accentuates the groupings of beads and it kind of frames them. But also in this specific lariat, the spaces of just Ceylon, and yes, we are working with Ceylon today. So these spaces without any embellishment are actually very, very strategic. This is where you can cross over your two sides of your lariat. So let me demonstrate it for you. I'm just going to model this really quickly. I am just going to do this in a very casual way. I'm not even going to take my jewelry off, so I hope this makes sense, you guys. Hello. Okay, so you see where these spaces in between the beads are. This is where we cross over the lariat and we just very casually drop it. It's not even a knot. It's kind of like as if you're tying a knot, but you're not actually following through. So it's not really a knot, and it just hangs very casually, just like this. And if we wanted to tie it in a different place, I'm doing this a little bit blind, you guys. So obviously I cannot see what I'm doing, but I hope this looks okay. So you can see, ta-da! And I know I have all my jewelry, so let me just move this over.
Katie O says, hello all, I've been waiting for this too.
Oh, yay! Hi, Katie. So this is the scoop, you guys. So you just make those little spots wherever you think you want to cross over your lariat. And again, you know, it's like your little bare space could be a little lower, a little higher, however you want to wear it. But what's really cool about this is that once you just kind of very casually knot it, it's not really a knot. Once you just cross it over, it stays. It's just not going to go anywhere at all. So that's just the strategy for this, or at least part of the strategy. And then we will talk about the rest of the strategy as we get going. So this is what it looks like.
Kathy D says, hi, Irina. Hi, Tony, Irina, and all. Gorgeous necklace.
Oh, thank you so much, Kathy. So could you actually maybe wrap it around twice around your neck? Absolutely. And this can be longer if you want it. Mine is roughly 40 inches in length. You can make it, I believe we said up to 44, but truly you can make it even longer because we give you a lot of seal-on for this one.
Kim K says, hi y'all, I'm happy to be able to catch you live.
Oh, yay, thanks, Kim. I'm so glad too.
Heidi says those colors are fabulous.
Thank you so much, Heidi. I really did enjoy these colors so much. And we call this colorway Dahlia Garden. I'm going to actually create a different colorway, and I don't know, depending on how much I like it and how much you like it, it may or may not become a colorway that becomes a kit. So we'll decide if we feel warm and fuzzy about the colorway that I'm working on today. But I do love how this turned out. To me, this just looks like a day full of sunshine, just a beautiful September day.
Carmen says, hi all.
Hi, Carmen.
Patty T says, oh, this is so smart.
Oh, thank you so much, Patty. So I think you're referring to leaving some spaces unbeaded so that you can very easily wear it.
Fonda says, I love it.
Thank you so much. And you know, this time of the year, I love warm colors like this. You can see my sweater. So I love oranges, these burnt oranges, or like darker corals. And this just kind of goes with all of those colors that I wear in the fall.
Lindsay says it looks like a branch of beautiful autumn leaves.
Oh, thank you so much, Lynn. That is a wonderful image. I love it. All right, guys. So I think we are just going to get started. And so I have to tell you before we we're going to get started, you know, about half an hour ago, I was running around the store like a mad woman and coming up with a new colorway. So I think I like what I came up with. It's very different from this one. But if you have been to Eclectica this time of the year, right around 4 o'clock, and if you have looked out that window, this is what the sky looks like. I kid you not. This is literally, maybe like take away the black, And this is literally what the sky looks like. The sky is so just beautiful, and the colors are amazing. The light is gorgeous. And so this colorway that I'm going to create right now is essentially inspired by that, with just a little bit of green for the leaves. And again, I'm using the same type of beads, or mostly the same type of beads, which I think some of you are familiar with. These are the German reproduction beads, which have so much soul and so much character, and the colors are just amazing. So I know you guys like the colors in my sample, but we'll see how this turns out. And don't be shy, tell me what you think.
Carmen says gorgeous Lariat.
Thank you so much, Carmen.
Pammy J says you definitely captured the autumn colors in that piece.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And so this was essentially my attempt to capture September sky, and this is what it looks like to me. So just imagine a beautiful September sky with just maybe like a little branch of leaves, but very subtle. So that branch of leaves is against the sky when we look up. All right, guys, so we are going to get started. So whether you like my original colorway, which is actually already up in the Etsy shop, or who knows, maybe some of you will bond with my new colorway. And I'm still deciding if I'm bonding with it. I think I like it, but we'll see. All right, so this is what I have. I have 3 strands of Ceylon, and they're quite long. They're actually 7 feet long. And you can see I have my little bead stopper, which is so very handy. And the bead stopper is right in the center of all 3 strands, and it's holding the 3 strands together very nicely. So this is right in the center. And just a little explanation of the construction. So when you look at my finished Lariat, so this is the center right here. So this is where my bead stopper would have been in the very beginning when I was starting it. So the purpose of not beading this part is this is at the back of your neck. And whether you wear this by itself, or maybe you're going to layer it with something else, like I do a lot of layering. And so if you have a lot of beads right in the back of your neck, it just gets bulky and uncomfortable, and they don't lay well against one another. So when I create my pieces that I'm going to layer, I try to make it very slender, right in back, and it just makes it very comfortable and easy to layer. So with that in mind, I'm going to go about 3 inches on either side of the bead stopper, and you can decide. You can only do 2, or maybe a little bit more. You can do 4. So whatever you want to leave at the back of your neck, so it's that comfortable stretch of unbeaded Ceylon at the back of your neck. That's not going to get in the way of clothes as well. So whatever amount of space you leave on one side, you leave the same amount of space on the other side. So here's my first knot, and you can see this is just a very simple overhand knot. And before I move on, I just want to show you that one of the interesting things I think about this Lariat is a lot of texture. There's definitely a lot of visual texture here. And part of that texture is the stringing material, which is Ceylon. And, normally we think of stringing material as just something that we put our beads on and it gets covered up. but sometimes we can add texture and a little bit of interest and drama with this beautiful exposed stringing material. And of course, I use three colors that I feel are just really very evocative of fall and just express exactly how I feel about this time of the season. So this is kind of like a rich pink, you know, the pink that leaves turn, and a chocolate, and then kind of mustardy color. So I think those are all really good fall colors. And then in my new colorway, I have a dark blue, which of course is, you know, a wonderful, like a moody sky sort of blue, and then a black. And I love including a little bit of black in a lot of projects, and I'll come back to the black. It really has a place in this type of jewelry. And then there's this kind of a subtle, is it pink, is it blue, is it green, what is it? It's kind of a turquoisey, maybe a sky blue. So I just think it really completes the look here, as well as picks up the colors of the beads that I'm using. So now I'm going to move on and tie the other knot approximately the same distance from the bead holder, or the bead stopper, sorry.
Pammy J says no beads in the back, also of the back of the neck, also centers the lariat.
Yes, exactly, exactly. So it centers it nicely, and now that I've found my spot, I took off the bead stopper because you see how one of the strings was not quite even. So I just evened it out, and we will tie a knot. And with this type of a lariat, we definitely have a lot of balance, but it does not need to be completely symmetrical. So you make it as symmetrical or as asymmetrical as you want. And obviously you will see an example of how I make it, and then you decide.
Sandy A says, love the lariat idea.
Thank you so much, Sandy. All right, so, and one of the strands separated a little bit, but that's okay. Once it goes around your neck, you will not know that. Okay, so now we are going to look at my sample, and I'm going to make this the blue lariat. And you know, I want to call it September Blues because, you know, it's the blue of the sky, but it is also, you know, we're all feeling just a little bit blue because summer is going so quickly, and I'm always very sad to say goodbye to summer. So I'm going to just model this new piece on the sample that we see right here in front of me. So I like this kind of a subtle adding beads. And so I'm not jumping into the larger beads right away. I'm just, so it's a bit, I guess maybe in some way it's a bit graduated. It's not really graduated, but just a little bit. So I have all these fun little seed beads, just like you will get like a fun little assortment of seed beads when you get your kit. And you know, there's just really, it's not a pattern. You string them in whatever order you happen to string them. My strategy is with something like this is definitely contrast more than anything else. So right now I am just putting a few of this and a few of that on my surface. And so what we see in this little colorful pile is just a little bit of everything. So there are some 8/0s there are some 6/0s. There are two different colors of thunder polish that is faceted right here, and of course my favorite little cubies. So we're going to pick out one strand, just one strand, and I don't know, maybe I will make it the lighter strand. Really, whichever strand you pick, it will work out. And I'm going to start stringing beads onto my lighter strand. And this is just, the strategy is whatever you think looks good together, that is what we're stringing. And this is really simple because all of the beads have a large enough hole where you can just, well, of course, now that I said it, okay, so everything just goes through very, very easily. This is what I have thus far. I don't know, maybe I'm not crazy about the black bead next to the little bead. Maybe I'll put a green bead next to it. So when you make something like this, obviously there's a lot of experimentation just to see exactly what it is that you like. And there's no right or wrong. And my guess is that we can all use the same beads and make this piece, and no two will be exactly alike. So don't stress, just do what feels right. And I would say don't think a whole lot about it. Just pick up a bead and put it on the strand and move on to the next bead. So I'm going to string maybe about 2 inches of beads or so. And then I'm going to tie a knot. So this is, don't you guys think this is really fun? And it's, this is actually, to me right now, as of right now, it's looking kind of like a fall sky because it's a bit moody. But because of some of the greens and some of the lighter blues, it can also be a spring sky. So this is I think this is going to be a little bit denim-y and a little bit transitional looking.
Maria the Garden Lady says, "Hi, Irina and Makers."
Hi, Maria the Garden Lady. I love it. So did you hear this one, this Lariat that's in front of me, the colorway I named Dahlia Garden. So since you are the garden lady, please tell us, do you grow dahlias? I would love to hear that because actually Tony and I just had this conversation about dahlias. And I said, the colors of this definitely remind me of a sunny September day, but it also reminds me of a dahlia garden because the colors of dahlias, they're definitely fall-like. And Tony said, so will everybody know that dahlias bloom this time of the year? So of course everybody knows that dahlias bloom this time of the year, right? So having said all of that, please tell me in the comments, do you grow dahlias? All right, so in the meantime, let's see. And it's not like it's a pattern. It's definitely, you just do whatever feels right. And whatever you want to string next, or if you want to make it shorter, if you want to make it longer, there's really no right or wrong. So I'm just going to maybe string one more bead on and move on. So this is a fun little strand, isn't it? I really like how this turned out. So I'm going to move it all the way down to the knot. And you remember where this is going to be on your neck. So this is the 6, well, maybe in this case, maybe 5 to 6 inches at the back of your neck. And this is going to be right, maybe like next to the side of your neck. Okay, so not quite at your clavicle. It's about the side of your neck. So again, I don't like really large beads right at the side of my neck. So I'm still going with fairly small beads and being pretty conservative. And I'm going to tie the next knot. And again, this is just a really simple overhand knot. This is a pretty quick project, and one aspect of this project is that it does not require any tools whatsoever. There's no tools and there's no glue. I think I maybe tied the knot just a little bit too close, but that's okay. This is going to work out. It's actually very similar to how it is on my original necklace.
Trudy says hello, just jumping in this evening.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Trudy. I'm so glad you're joining us. So here we go. This is what it looks like. And now I'm going to leave that first space without beads. So this is our first negative space. And again, those negative spaces, as you saw, are truly strategic, but they're also visually, they're strategic in both ways. They're visually strategic because they frame the groups of your beads, but they're also strategic in terms of how you're going to wear your necklace.
Maria the Garden Lady says, perfect name. Not dahlias, but they are beautiful. Have lots of roses, cactus, orchids, succulents, string of hearts, Hoyas, etc. I'm a collector, so like plants, most people won't have.
Oh, how wonderful. I love that. Some unusual plants and succulents are so cool. They're all beautiful. I love roses too. I have so many roses myself. All right, guys. So we have, just like in the dahlia necklace, we have a couple of different colors of the leaves. And we're just going to pick. So I will point out that this is one of my very favorite reproduction beads. It is just so special. It has so many colors in it. And when I was creating this colorway, actually the leaf was one of the first beads that I picked out. And a lot of the color in this colorway is pulled out of this type of leaf because there are some very subtle oranges. There are definitely those blue stripes that go through the leaf. This is a very old school kind of leaf. It's a German reproduction, meaning it is made with that original German cane that they just cannot make anymore because it is so time consuming. They couldn't sell it. It would be way too expensive to put all that time into making this type of glass cane. So it's very special. And it is something that you can find in our Etsy shop as well. So all of these German repro beads we had made years ago using vintage molds and vintage cane, and we used to be able to find a lot of these very unusual types of cane. And I love working with these beads. So you can see there's my first leaf. And so now I'm going to start increasing a little bit, and my groups of beads are going to get just a little bit more chunky. And not only are they going to get a little bit more chunky, but also this is my opportunity to include more color because I can pull from pretty much any bead that I want. So I'm going to use a Swarovski bead. And this is a nice dark Swarovski bead, so that's going to give us a little drama. And then I have that thunder polish bead, and maybe I will use a QB. So really, there's no right or wrong. It's whatever it is that feels right at the time. So what I'll do is I will put each one, you know what, I will use my cutter right now to cut the string at an angle. It'll make it easier for me to go through the beads. And but this time I don't have to make that self needle because every one of the beads has a large enough hole where I don't have to do that.
Patty G says, joining late, just got home after helping with my grandbaby.
Hi Patty. Well, thanks for joining me, and I'm sure you had a blast with your grandbaby. That sounds wonderful.
Lynn N says, coming in late. Hi, everyone.
Hi, Lynn. I'm so glad you're joining us.
Katie S says, love those blue-green leaves. I do not have this color yet.
Thank you. I'm so glad you love them. It's really my favorite color. I love it so much. Okay, guys, so I have my single bead on each one of the strands. And now I will tie a knot again. And it's really so simple, you guys. It's always the same kind of knot. It's always just the overhand knot. And you tighten it, and then if it doesn't seem quite tight enough, you just pull on each one of the strings separately, and that will most definitely tighten it nicely, and you move on to the next bead. And in this case, our next bead, again, it's not really a pattern, so when you do this, you can most definitely mix it up, but for the purposes of the video, I'm not going to reinvent the wheel, at least not in terms of what order I do this in, because I want you to see the order of the actual piece that I already made. So I'm just sticking to the same order, just in case if you like my order, this way it makes it very easy. So I just put the flower, so this is the 5-petal flower, and this is a beautiful blue as well with the white core. And so the white petal flower, I put onto a single strand, so the other 2 strands are without beads, and again, I will tie a knot. So this next bead, well, actually, let's tie this knot before we talk about the next bead. So I try not to get super, super tight and just kind of give the bead a little room to breathe. So this next bead, in my dahlia sample, so this is the Dahlia Garden. This is a gorgeous bead. It's a 3-sided vintage repro bead. So that's what is in the dahlia, but I could not quite pick a repro bead that really made me happy for this new colorway, so I went with a different bead. So this is really the only bead that's going to differ a little bit from one colorway to the next, but I think it's still very much in the spirit of the shape of the original bead. So I'm now going to, again, pick a strand, and it doesn't have to be any specific strand. You don't need to stick to the same strand. It's just very easy, you guys. It's a random strand, whatever feels good at the time. And again, a single strand, and we will tie a knot. And as you know, this colorway is definitely inspired by the sky that we see from, at least from our current location at Eclectica, right around 4 o'clock. The light is just so very beautiful. And so I feel like this white bead, it's actually not quite white, it's a bit off-white, and it has a beautiful AB finish. So this is like a cloud in the sky. So this is still following that theme. So now we're going to pick maybe some leaves of the opposite color. And the opposite color is kind of this smoky gray with just a little hint of blue. There's definitely a hint of blue in the leaf. And this time we are going to put a leaf onto each one of the Ceylon strands. And I just really love working with the Ceylon for this type of a necklace because it comes in so many absolutely stunning colors. So that gave me a really good color palette to choose from. And so here we go. I have my 3 leaves. And again, we're going to bring them together And if you want them to kind of stick out, this time we can make it a little bit tighter, or if you don't care if they stick out, you can just tie a knot however you want to. So either way, they're going to flip-flop from one side to another, to the other a little bit. And again, we're going to tighten the knot. And so our first flower, so this is what I mean, if you kind of want them to stick out to the sides. I do think that this creates kind of a nice effect, because it just gives us more to look at, because we have leaves going in both directions. And now I have another type of flower. So this is a trillium. It just has 3 petals. And I love the colors on this. So this is like the color of the sky, but also the color of the sand. And it's very kind of a subtle color. Okay, and why can't I string through this bead?
Fonda was wondering what size Ceylon you're using.
Thank you for asking, Fonda. I'm using the regular Ceylon, which is 1/2 of a millimeter in diameter. And we do have some colors of Ceylon, actually quite a few colors of Ceylon in the Etsy shop, and we have like a schmillion colors of Ceylon in our brick and mortar store. And again, we're going to just tighten each strand, and then that knot becomes nice and tight. And now I'm going to finish this grouping again by including one of the Swarovski crystals. I feel like this color of Swarovski crystal, I forget, I think it may be it's not jet nut, but it's something nut. It's over kind of a darker smoky blue or green, but it's a really great color. It's like an almost black without actually being black. And what happens when you have all these pastels, and there are definitely a lot of pastels in this colorway. So what happens is, if you don't bring in something that is kind of a neutral, but it is also either quite a bit darker or quite a bit lighter. So if you don't have that contrast, everything just starts to run together. And for me, these much darker beads, which, as I said, I hope the camera picks up how cool they are. They're actually metallic. They have this beautiful metallic finish. Can you see that? So they have this great metallic finish, and they frame the grouping so nicely. So when you look at the different beads, it's like these Swarovski bicones. They're 6 millimeters, and they just create this really nice contrast. And speaking of contrasts, one of the brands, so this is a bit of a tangent, I'm just going to share a little bit. So one of the brands that I love to wear, clothing brands, is called Desigual. Tell me if you're familiar with Desigual. So the other day I was wearing a Desigual top, and one of the ladies who works here at Eclectica complimented me on it, and we both really like Desigual. And she said, "Is that Desigual?" And I said, "How could you even tell? How do you know that this is Desigual? It doesn't even look like Desigual. It wasn't a typical piece." And she said, "I can tell by their use of black, because they use black in such a specific way, and you can always recognize it." So when you want to create a little drama, when you want to create that division of like, okay, so this is an end of one grouping, something, and in this case, again, it's not exactly black, but it's close enough. So this is just something that really sets it off and lets us enjoy this as a grouping. So now I'm going to, again, have a little space with no beads. And you remember that is one of those spaces that is there for not only the visual reason, but also when we're going to wear our, actually I want to make this a little bit larger. So I'm going to move the knot. So this is just over an inch. And it can be an inch, it can be an inch and a half, whatever you want it to be. And so this is our second space. And so now we're going to move on. And this is right about where we are. You can see that on my original sample, I don't have quite as long of a space for crossing over. And that is fine. It's however you do it, it's fine. It is art.
Jackie says, hi, fun people beaters. Showing up a little late tonight.
Hi, Jackie. Well, I'm so glad you are joining us, and I'm so glad that you think we're fun. And I think we are having fun. So speaking of having fun, so I had a lot of fun just kind of, oh, and by the way, I put a couple of beads on here this time just because we can. We really, there are no rules here, you guys. It's like whatever feels right at the time, you just do that. So speaking of fun, so I love this time of the year, as if you could not tell. And I was just thinking about our next few projects. And you know, I love it when you have thoughts about what we should do next. And I was thinking that it's been a little while since we have done any kind of a oh, what do you call it, in the window? Oh my gosh. We just talked about it. Sun catcher. Thank you. Yes. So yeah, that was a little moment I just forgot. But anyway, so it's been a little while since we have made a sun catcher, and I love leaves so much. And I was thinking, would it be fun to make some kind of a leaf-shaped sun catcher, like maybe an oak leaf or a ginkgo leaf? And you may have seen some of my oak leaves and ginkgo leaves. I have made on a different scale. So I have actually made lots of projects with oak leaves and ginkgo leaves in several of my books. But I was thinking, let's scale it up and make it into a sun catcher.
Fonda says very loudly, because it's all in caps, yes, more sun catchers, please.
Oh, yay! Thank you so much, Fonda. So you think it's a good idea. So specifically, a leaf would be fun? And if so, how do you feel about an oak leaf? That was my first thought, and my second thought was a ginkgo.
Maria, the garden lady, says that is a beautiful necklace. Love to see leaves on them. Yes, leaves, please.
Oh, thank you.
Patty T says yes, leaves would be great.
So as a sun catcher, yeah. Right? Cool. So we'll work on that for maybe next week, maybe the following week. Oh, and by the way, speaking of your suggestions, which I love so much, so you guys remember last week you liked my necklace, which actually I was wearing around my wrist, which I do sometimes. And ta-da, this one is actually a bracelet. So this is next week's project. And so this is what it looks like. And I know we talked about maybe Hassanite garnet, maybe carnelian, and this is a little bit like both, but it's actually neither. This is, I don't know if you can tell how awesome this is. This is actually fire agate that is very, very lightly coated, and I love how well it pairs with that turquoise, the turquoise with the copper edge. So I hope you guys are excited. I am so, so very excited about this project for next week. And we'll do the other preview in a little bit.
Kim C says, good evening all. Sorry I'm late, but glad to join in.
Hi, Kim. And I'm so glad you have joined in as well. So we're working on a Lariat, and this is the September Bloom Lariat. So this is what it looks like. And if you go back to the beginning of the video, I actually did model it just to show how to wear it. So a hint is that these little spaces are very strategic as far as how you wear it. And this is what the rest of it looks like.
Kim K says yes, and I think that's a maple leaf that she put in.
Oh, a maple leaf. You know, I love maple leaves, but I have to tell you, it is the hardest leaf to reproduce in wire. So again, we're talking about sun catchers, and I think if we stick with something like an oak leaf or a ginkgo leaf, we may just have a better outcome. Just saying, you guys.
Fonda says fall-colored oak leaves would be beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I would love to do a fall-colored oak leaf.
Terry says ginkgo leaf, please.
Oh, yay. Oh, this is my buddy Terry who stopped by today. I'm so glad to hear from you.
Kim C says fantastic. Love your bracelet. Looking forward to it.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, me too. I'm excited. I love these little turquoise beads.
Amy says very cute bracelet.
Thank you so much, Amy.
Lindsay says love that bracelet.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Here, let me, you know what?
I think someone said leaf cookies too.
Leaf cookies?
Yeah,
What?
they want to be anonymous.
So, oh my gosh, leaf cookies. There's a lady who makes these gorgeous leaf cookies at our farmer's market. My God, they're just a work of art. So if you guys ever go to the Brookfield farmer's market, go to the leaf cookie lady and get some cookies. I've never actually eaten one because I'm not really a cookie type person, but they're absolutely beautiful.
You're missing out.
I know, I'm missing out. My guys are always getting the cookies.
Julie says, I'm going to be in Milwaukee in a couple weeks and hope to visit the shop. Are you guys in the store every day?
Oh, yay, Julie. Well, first of all, I am so happy. Come on down. We are in the store a lot, but yes, sometimes we do take days off. Although these days, now that we're getting ready to move, we are in the store more often than not. Once more or less normal life resumes, we will be taking more days off, but at this point, it's nearly every day. So when you know what day you will be here, maybe just let us know, or I don't know, give us a call. We want to meet you, and we will arrange to be here. So I am now stringing the next little group of leaves, and if you look at the two sides of here, I'm going to move the bracelet so that now we just have all the Lariat beads in front of me.
Julie says thanks. She'll let us know.
Oh, yay, that's awesome. Now, remind me again, Julie, where you're coming from. So in the meantime, I'm stringing my last leaf, and these leaves are just so special. Like when you're handling them, each one is so different. all of those little stripes are so subtle, and it's just, it doesn't pretend to be a real leaf. It just has its own unique character. And I really find that these reproduction beads, they're very romantic in a way. There's just so much wonderful character in them.
Julie says she's in Scottsdale, Arizona, and she grew up in Racine.
Oh, wonderful. Well, I bet it will be so nice to get back. So you must have family in the area. All right, so in the meantime, I just grabbed another bicone. So there are quite a few of the Swarovski bicones in this necklace. And it just, it adds so much wonderful sparkle. And I know that everybody is really stressed about Swarovski going away and not selling to the DIY industry. But I want you to know that we are somewhat well stocked, stocked up on Swarovski. So it'll probably last a little bit, and then we will figure out if we want to switch to another brand, but not just yet. Okay, guys, and we have another break in the beads. So again, we are just going to tie a knot and start a new segment. So what I'm going to do tonight, ladies, is I'm just going to finish one side of the necklace so that you all know exactly how to finish it. And then I will just show you that there might be just like a couple of very subtle differences in my two sides, and one hangs just maybe like half an inch longer than the other. And it can be an inch longer, it can be the same. It really, however you want to make it, that is the right way to do it. So I'm just, again, I'm always starting a new segment with a pretty diminutive little grouping of beads. So I use the small beads as the beginning of the segment, and then I make the segment kind of a little bit graduated. So here's one of those beautiful little flowers with 3 petals. Oh, wait a minute. I actually skipped a really important one, the one with the Swarovski bicone. So we can't do that. And I'm going to grab some more of these little thunder polish beads. Oh, wait a minute. No, that goes on a different strand. So, okay. So we have decided on an oak leaf, I'm thinking, rather than a ginkgo, because I didn't hear a whole lot of enthusiasm for a ginkgo. And I think oak leaves are so iconic of fall. I think they are. And the shape of an oak leaf is actually so very beautiful. And believe it or not, it is pretty easy to recreate. And even if you're not all that great with wire or tools, but wait till you see how easy it is to make an oak leaf. I'm very excited about that. All right, so now we're going to string a trillium onto our necklace. You know what? I feel like I skipped something here. I may have skipped something here. I think I skipped one of the Swarovski beads. Or maybe not. No, I didn't. But you do get a couple of Swarovski beads in, I'm sorry, like a larger Swarovski bead, I meant, in this kit. And Tony is attempting to count. Are there 2 or 4 of them? Like total of 2, right? Okay, so then we're right on track. So we're going to be doing that next. So I'm just attempting to make this nice and snug, and it just fell into place. And so Next, we have the 8mm Swarovski bead, and it goes right next to our little trillium. So here we go. And I do like those two colors side by side. And again, tie a knot. So you can see this is all about just tying overhand knots, and you can definitely play with the order of beads, or you can add your own beads, or you can substitute beads, or you can just use all the same exact beads that we give you in the kit, and it will turn out exactly like mine. So you can decide. And so now I have the 5-petal right here, and actually I can see what I did here. So before I knot the 5-petal, maybe I will separate out one string. So not maybe, it's definitely a commitment to separate out one string. So let's knot this flower into place. So this is going to be just a little bit different. And so now I'm just using 2 out of 3 strands, and the other strand is just kind of hanging, right? And I'm now going to add my little cloud bead. So in this case, it's a barrel, so it is comparable to the 3-sided bead in the dahlia variation. And we're going to, again, just use the 2 strings. And next, we are going to have a Swarovski crystal. And you probably already know why I'm not using this one single string, because I'm about to string all sorts of fun little seed beads. So this is just another way to add a little texture. This is definitely a boho piece. And when you have a boho piece like this, it's fun to have a little fiber and a little bit of maybe like seed beads and just all sorts of different textures and colors. And so this is what I'm doing. I'm just taking another little pinch of this and another little pinch of that so that we can string about as many beads as it will take to meet this knot right here. Actually, I may have tied that knot a little bit prematurely, but I don't think I tied it really tight, so maybe I just might undo it. Let's see if I can. And if I can't, that's all right too. As I said, it doesn't have to be exactly identical. So if I had an awl right now, it would make it a lot easier. But actually, you know what? I have a tweezers, so that will make it easy as well. So if you ever need to undo a knot, be very careful, because it's very easy to, especially if you're undoing it with something sharp like I am. So if you go in between the fibers and you start separating the fibers in the individual strands, all of a sudden that strand starts to come apart, and it's just not a good look. You know what I'm talking about, like when it starts to fray. So that is just not a good look. So this is what I'm doing. I'm just using, instead of the tweezers, I'm using my round nose pliers, which I happen to have right here. So generally, this is a no tools kind of project, but unless, of course, you have to undo a knot.
Stacia says, hi, everyone.
Hi, Stacia. Thanks so much for joining us. All right, so now I'm going to use my single strand to just string on a few beads. And again, it's just whatever order makes you happy.
Kim C says, both colorways are so lovely. You may have mentioned this earlier, but will you be offering the kit in the shop in both colorways?
Well, that's a good question. Thank you so much for asking. So, right now we have the Dahlia Garden colorway. That's the one that is the finished piece in front of me. So, let me ask you guys, would you like to see it in the shop as a color? I'm talking about the one that I'm working on right now. Do you think it is something that you would like to see in the shop? Because, you know, when I set out to make it, I wasn't quite sure if we would all like it. I think I'm very happy with it. So, what do you think? Is this Etsy shop worthy? So obviously you haven't seen the very end of it yet, but I'm really liking how it's turning out. So I'm leaning towards yes, but you guys let me know. So which colorway do you like best? Do you guys want to see this one in the Etsy shop?
Lorraine says, hi, everyone. I love it.
Hi, Lorraine. Thank you so much. Okay, so every once in a while, if it starts to fret, you know what? Maybe I should have made a self needle. And you guys have seen me make one in many other videos. So it is always an option. If you feel that it would help you, then just do it.
Trudy says, I love the color.
Thank you so much, Trudy. So I'm thinking yes, I'm kind of starting to fall in love with this colorway as well. And I'm thinking that probably we should.
Karen says, I like both of them. The blue one leans more toward my style.
Oh, thank you. Are you into like denim and a lot of blue? I love blue. Blue is one of my favorite colors ever. So I'm really liking how this is coming out.
Fonda says they are both beautiful.
Thank you so much, Fonda. So I'm just going to tie a knot right now and tie all 3 strands into one knot. And Tony's pointing out that I have some leaves right after, but that's okay. That's okay. As I said, we are, it doesn't always have to be like exactly identical because it is not a pattern.
Karen says, I wear a lot of denim and blues. And Laura says they're both gorgeous.
Oh, yay. Thank you so much, Laura. And yeah, I think if your style is denim and blues, probably you would like this new colorway better. So while oh, that's right. So I did go all the way down to the flowers and I added the leaves before I tied all 3 strands together. But it's okay. It really doesn't matter which you do first and which you do second. It just all works out. So we are now going to string one of each color leaf onto 2 strands, and the 3rd strand is either going to just be unbeaded, or maybe we'll put something little onto the 3rd strand. Again, you have more than enough beads so that you can play and experiment a little bit, and you just do whatever feels right. So here we go. I put a little QB on it, and now I'm going to tie a knot.
Kim K says, gorgeous colorways. It's hard to choose.
Oh, thank you so much, Kim. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Okay, so now this is going to be our piece de resistance when we make this one chunky balloon by stringing the flowers, the big 5-petal flowers, onto each one of the strands. And while I'm doing that, I'm just going to tell you that I think we have made our final decision about definitely listing the blue colorway. So we have some business to do, ladies. We need to name it. And I'm kind of thinking maybe September Blues. How do you guys feel about September Blues?
I thought you were calling it September Sky.
Oh, I don't know. What do you like better, September Blues or September Sky? And I think we will list it tomorrow. So today is, you know, pretty much gone, but tomorrow is another day. So don't you think this is like so pretty with all the flowers in a little cluster? I love this part. So here we go. We're just going to tie this off.
Kim C says September sky.
Yay.
And so does Lindsay.
Yay. Well, I tell you, one thing I'm going to miss about this location, as you know, we're moving. Okay, this got a little too messy. I'm just going to undo this knot and start over. Yes, so I'm so very excited about moving, like so excited, I can't even tell you. But one thing I will miss is the light at the end of the day, like every day, the light at the end of the day, especially on a nice day, on a beautiful sunny day. In September, it's just so moody and it's so special, and we all enjoyed here. But there are definitely a lot of things that we're very much looking forward to at the new location.
Patty T says September sky, and so does Fonda, and so does Patty G. Maria says September sky. Pammy J says sky, and Kim K says September sky.
Yay! Well, September sky it is, definitely. All right, ladies, so here we go. This is almost the end of this half of the necklace. So we're just going to string the tassel onto one of the strands. This is so easy, it's like ridiculous. And we're just going to tie a knot. So this is where we are. We're just tying a knot right there. And it's the same overhand knot, just with those two strands. So now we have attached our tassel. And do you remember I told you you could make your necklace a little longer if you wanted to? So here it is. I mean, you don't have extra large beads, but you have a lot of extra small beads. Plus, you can also control the length through the spacing. You can space differently as well. But this is how much extra string we have. And so this is what we're going to do right now. We are going to bead each one of the strands, and we are going to tie a fun little knot, and it's like a surgeon's knot, but with the extra passes through the knot. So this is a regular knot, right? Going through it twice, I guess, makes it a surgeon's knot, but we're going to go through it 4 times. And you just keep going through that loop. Okay, it doesn't want to go through, but there it is. And one more time. I'll do this again too so you can see. And so what I'm going to do is I'm not attempting to put the knot right next to the bead. I'm actually letting the bead dangle anywhere from like a 1/2 inch to 1 inch. Just make sure you make it nice and snug. And yes, it's going to be a larger size knot so that our bead does not slip over it. And it is also a decorative knot. And I will trim the string. And next one, and we can use 1 bead or a couple of beads, really whatever makes you happy at the time. So this one is going to be one of the little cubies, and here we go. And I think I maybe have used more cubies on this side than I'm going to have left for the other side, but that's okay. We'll just make the other side a little bit different. So I think this is 3 times, or maybe, okay, 1 more, 4 times. And again, just tighten it and push the bead down. And there we go. And so this is strand number 2, and we have 1 more to go. So what should we put on here? So obviously if I put on a 6/0 size bead, I need something smaller right after because the 6/0 has a very large hole. So even like that type of a knot that we're making is not going to contain it or stop it from slipping off. So just go through 4 times, and again we're going to tighten the knot, and there we go.
Lorraine says, such a beautiful design.
Thank you so much, Lorraine. Okay, and here we go. So the tassel completes the look, and it's a black tassel. I tried it with different colors, and I just wasn't happy. So the black tassel made me happy. I do like that little bit of contrast, a little bit of drama, and that does it for me. It also goes with the rest of the necklace because one of the strands in here is black, and also our bicones are almost black. At least, you know, our eye sees it as black. So this sort of completes the look. So obviously I don't have time for the other side to actually make the other side right now, but let's take a look at my finished sample, and I will just talk a little bit about the subtle differences.
Pammy J says, gorgeous Lariat. And Patty T says, thank you for sharing. Love this project.
Oh, thank you so much, ladies. Thank you. I have enjoyed it so much. But wait, there's more. Don't go away just yet. So you can see that the two sides are just about identical. So here and there, I may have used the other color leaf on the other side, but for the most part, they are pretty much an identical design. So here I have one color of the leaves, here I have the opposite color. And so what I would do before you start making your lariat, sit down and just subdivide the big beads into 2 groups. One group is going to go to one side, the other group is going to go to the other side. You can pre-plan if you want to, if you're going to have the 2 sides identical or slightly different. But again, mine are almost identical. The differences are really quite subtle. And then I wanted one of the sides to be just a little bit longer than the other side. It's my preference. I like one to hang a little longer. So I made this portion just a little longer on one side. And now I'm trying to figure out what did I do here to make it longer. I don't know. I think it's just a spacing. Or maybe do I have something extra here? I don't even know. I can't even tell. I think it's really more about the spacing. I think I spaced it out just a little longer, and one ended up a little longer than the other. But the chances are, ladies, that even if you don't plan it like that, one will probably end up a little longer than the other.
Patty G says, really pretty, thanks. And Jane says, these are beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much, ladies. Thank you. I love sharing them with you, and I love that you love them. And of course, this is the one we made today, and I will finish it tomorrow. And as I said, we will list the September Sky colorway tomorrow. And in the meantime, speaking of tomorrow, so I do want to just preview what we're doing tomorrow. Tomorrow we are making the Beyond Bollywood bracelets. Some of you are familiar with my Bollywood bracelets, and you probably have spotted the subtle difference between the regular Bollywood bracelets and the Beyond Bollywood bracelets. And if you have not, it's okay, because I will definitely talk about them tomorrow. And so this is what we are making tomorrow. And then I do have a little preview for next week. You already know that next week we are making the copper edge turquoise bracelet, which actually I have not named yet. Have we named it yet? I don't think so. Oh,
We
yes,
call
yes.
it turquoise.
Turquoise Canyon. We called
Canyon.
it Turquoise Canyon, yes.
Yes.
And
Kim
then,
K says, thank you so much. The Lariats are lovely. And Kim C says, fab design and colorways. Thank you.
oh, thank you so much, ladies. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Heidi says, gorgeous design. Thank you for a great tutorial. I've wanted to learn how to knot like this.
Oh, yay. Thanks, Heidi. And so this is also next week. So don't forget, Halloween is going to be here very soon. And I like Halloween. We have always enjoyed it with the kids, especially when they were younger. So of course we have to make some spooky eye earrings for Halloween. So I think these are, not your regular Halloween earrings. These are a little more, I don't know, how should I say? It's like Gothic tale meets Halloween. It's kind of like that. So it's definitely still about beautiful design and technique and nice settings. But then, of course, you have spooky eyes for Halloween.
Maria says, oh, those bollies look interesting.
Oh, thank you so much.
Carmen says, love the earrings. And
Awesome.
Patty G is wondering, can you please tie the lariat on to show how it ties?
You know what? Actually, I did that in the very beginning of the necklace, but I'm sorry, the video. But I suppose I can do that again, right?
Kim
So-
C says, sophisticated.
Oh, thank you so much.
Fonda
So-
loves the earrings.
Let's do this one more time. So, okay, guys. Hello again. So here we have our lariat. It's quite long, as you can see. And so our little spaces that are not beaded, the purpose of those spaces is not only for the visual framing of the beads, but also this is exactly where we want to cross over the string. It's not even quite knotting it, right? Because it's a very kind of loose knot. It's really just a crossover. And this way, our lariat is just going to stay exactly where you want it. And we can do that at any one of the little crossover spots. And that's the end.
Karen says, a sophisticated take on Halloween earrings.
Oh, thank you so much. That is exactly what I was hoping to accomplish.
Kathy D says, man, I'm going to treat myself for my birthday, LOL.
Oh, yay. Is your birthday coming up soon?
Patty G says, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Kim C says, Irina, the burnt orange is a great color on you.
Oh, thank you so much. I love burnt orange, especially this time of the year. It's one of my faves.
And Julie says, genius to leave space for the knotting.
Thank you so much. So yes, it's very strategic spacing. All right, guys. Well, I had so much fun showing these to you. And again, tomorrow, join me for the Beyond Bollywood bracelets.
Pammy J is wondering, are the eye earrings in the Etsy shop?
Not
not yet.
yet, because
Coming soon.
yes, so these are actually going to be in the Etsy shop next week. So yeah, so by next, like Thursday and Friday, we will most definitely have them in the Etsy shop.
Jane says thank you, and Angela says thank you.
Yay, thank you so much, ladies. And I loved your comments and your suggestions always. And thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful and creative evening.